and welcome back to
Bunso Bites.
I'm your host, Ami43.
And I'm your co-host, Chiggy.
Hiya, Chiggy.
Hi, Ami.
What a week month. It's just, as always.
Did you say week month?
Yeah, because I don't know time anymore. Again, it has been a minute since we've recorded, or it feels like it's been a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot has happened. So, as of this recording, we just had Turkey Thanksgiving. We love Turkey Thanksgiving. Did we eat turkey? No. But we had very good ham, and your girl loves a good ham.
Mm-hmm.
We spent Thanksgiving this year with my family, and it was very, very nice. My parents drove up from down south, and they came to visit, and we had really, really good food. Hung out. I took my mom Black Friday shopping, which was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we actually did a lot of damage. I feel like I did more damage online. I found more online
definitely.
deals than I did in store. But what was nice was I think except for one person, two people, I checked on Black Friday. I checked off everyone on our gift list, which was really nice. Because my update for this episode is we got the keys to our apartment.
Yay.
Our future apartment. I'm moving in now, and Chiggy will move in once we're married. And so we are in the process of, we got the keys, so big steps. And now we got to figure out, which is so funny. It's we got the keys, and then now we're figuring out how to move. And it's not that we're trying to figure it out. I don't have a lot of things that needs to be moved. It's just kind of the time and the effort and the organization that goes into it. So the goal is to kind of knock things out room by room, and hopefully, and it's kind of cool because we've kind of been holding on to a bunch of things, and we get to use it now. Stuff that we've accumulated over time, whether it was we bought something on sale, we bought something on Glitch, we bought something on promo. I've had a set of plates and cutlery and stuff that I'm kind of just holding on to because I'm we're not using it. Whenever we're here at Chiggy's house, we use the plates that he grew up with, and then whenever I'm at my apartment where I currently live with my family, I'm using their stuff. So it's now we get to finally use our stuff, which is really, really fun and exciting. A little terrifying because this is, I guess, my first story of being alone. For all intents and purposes, I've at least always had a roommate. And so now it's okay, now I'm going to be alone. So yeah, I'm very excited. This is kind of not just a big step, but it feels like the start and opening of a very, very big chapter for us. And I'm very excited. I don't know how you feel. I'm excited. On the cusp of terrified, but mainly excited in my own way. But yeah, I don't know. How do you feel about it? You're not moving in yet, but
right. But
eventually, in a month and change.
Yeah, you were saying that we've stocked up or got things for our future. Right. So we finally unpacked all of the kitchen stuff, and I know that we bought a Tefal set from Target.
4 years ago?
At least 3 years ago.
And has been in box the
entire time.
We bought that on a Black Friday.
Yes.
Yeah. It was on promo for $50 or something. And that set is normally $110, $120. And we're like, this is a really good deal. We knew that we're going to need pots and pans in the near future at the time.
Right.
But the thing was, it was we never had a... we always had a ballpark of okay, we're going to get married and move in and live our lives as a married couple within the next 3 to 5 years. At least at that point. And we are 3 years later now. Yeah. So it's this is happening. And it's kind of cool because as we were doing the kitchen, the thing that I love the most, and I don't know if you felt the same way, was since all of it is new in box, I just felt like I was opening presents because everything was brand new for all intents and purposes. Obviously, we have some things that are like not brand new, but like, you know, I've had these the OXO pop containers, the very satisfying pop OXO containers that I've been holding on to for how long, and I finally get to use them. And when we slid them into our new cabinets, the satisfaction of like them perfectly fitting was just chef's kiss. It was wonderful. I loved it so much. It was very like satisfying.
Yeah. But now that we're able to break out those items out of the boxes, put them in their respective places, and then get rid of the boxes.
Oh, I know.
That's the part that I like, because I'm like, yes, I can free up space.
Oh my gosh, yeah. We made a, it's a work in progress, but we currently have a tower of boxes. And what's really cool is, at least at our apartment complex, not only do we have a recycling like little area, it is a compactor. So you put it in and it compacts it for you, which makes it all the more satisfying. So when we recycle all of those boxes, it'll be lovely, and I'm very, very excited. But yeah, that's kind of been, I hope, I don't know if I stole your update, but that was my update, because it felt so big and present in our lives.
No, you didn't steal my update. This one's just kind of general thing. It's not something that's pertinent to me, but today actually marks the first snowfall of this year.
Yeah, it is currently snowing. And my Florida self is enjoying it to a certain degree, but also on the inside, very terrified. And by terrified, I mean there's always this like anxiety that I get as someone who didn't grow up with colder weather in general. I get like this like bubble of anxiety for like, okay, it's snowing and it's like nighttime now and it's gonna snow through the night. So then tomorrow morning I'm gonna have to drive through it. It's really just the driving through it. Playing in the snow, taking pictures in the snow, having fun in the snow. Love all of that. The driving in the snow gets me a little like, okay, a little on edge, I guess. We even got, at least for us, I don't know how often like you have security people or like safety people at your office emailing you, but we got not just an email notification, but a text notification about said email notification saying, please leave early tomorrow and drive slow and drive safe and make sure you wear shoes that you're not going to slip on the ice, and like all of these things. And I'm just like, can I just not go? Can I just not leave the house tomorrow? Thank you so much.
Yeah. For us, they already told us that they are expecting us to be open.
Yeah.
But if anything changes, that we would get a notification, an email, a voicemail, anything overnight. But still have not gotten that. So we'll be going in to the office.
I'm expecting, because we got a notification that the base is open, you guys are going to be open, because the base is way more lenient than you guys are. So, I mean, that's just speculation. Who knows? The weather can do whatever the weather wants to do.
Correct.
You know, it was supposed to actually snow earlier in the day. It snowed later than expected.
Right. And
it was supposed to snow lighter than it was projected, but it is snowing heavier than what is projected. So, weather is weather. We will see what happens. As of right now, we have hot chocolate cookies and we're recording a podcast. So.
Yep. All the good stuff.
Yeah. That being said, I had a moment. And this happens every time it snows here, which is not very often. Again, we live in Hampton Roads, so we're on the cusp of the South, I suppose. But we definitely, overall, in comparison to like Northeast, we have very mild winters, and we'll get snowfall like once in the wintertime. I don't think we've ever, in the time that I've lived here, I don't think it has snowed twice. And by twice, like 2 instances.
Oh, there has been, yeah.
In the time that I've lived here? Or just in general?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
There was one where it snowed really hard, and then we got a week in between the second time it snowed really hard.
Oh, I don't remember. To me, that must have felt like one then. But I don't know. So since our winters are on the more mild side and we only get snow every now and again, I just have this feeling every time it does snow, though. I like to look at the snow when, like, especially if you're driving or like you're in a car, and when you're driving and you see the snow and how it's like swirling when it's being hit by a traffic light. So obviously in the wintertime, the traffic lights come on earlier because the sun goes down earlier. And so when you see snow swirling in traffic lights, this is a very hyper specific thing, but it very distinctly, like, I get a pang of nostalgia, not because I grew up with snow, but because it reminds me of the animation that happens when Elsa, when the transition happens in the Frozen movie of Elsa running away and going up the North Mountain. And there's literally this shot, I say camera shot as if it's real, it's animated, but this shot where you're like kind of coming from out, zooming into the North Mountain, and it's just like swirls of snow. And I literally, like, as I'm watching the snow live in traffic, like, you know, in the light of traffic lights, that's what I think of. And then I like feel and hear the music in my head as I'm watching it. So actually when it snows, I tend to not listen to music because in my head I like hear the Frozen soundtrack like just playing because I'm like watching it, which is a very surreal feeling because it's like, I clearly, as a Florida girl, I did not grow up with snow, but I have a very distinct memory of snow because of that movie. And yeah, it literally happened to me while we were driving to the house earlier, and I was like, oh, like I remember this feeling so well, and it felt very nostalgic. And it's so yeah, I like the way snow looks. I don't mind the snow like it is right now, where it's not sticking and it's very, very beautiful. But then after that, I don't really like it.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't like it when it turns to ice. That's why I get really, really psyched out because like I've had things happen where like my car door handle was frozen because it iced over, or, you know, my car got stuck and because it was like where it was on ice. And so like when I reversed it, people literally had to push me out of my parking spot. So when snow gets icy, I'm not a fan because I've had bad experiences in that sense. But when snow is pretty and when you can like walk in it and it has that like crunch, like it's not icy, but it just kind of crinkles under your feet. That feeling I love. Actually, one of the last times that Mo was here, my best friend Mo, it had snowed a couple days before she got here, and then we went to this like shopping area that had a big field in the front of the parking lot, and we just went running through it because no one had touched it yet. And Mo is also from Florida, so it was like very like we were just like giggling like 5-year-olds just like running through untouched snow. That's what I like. I like that stuff. But like when the roads get slick and like I've slipped on ice, not fun. Hurt my wrist when that happened and didn't like that. You know, I didn't like, you know, like I said, my car door handle one time. My car got stuck, and then we tried to like shove tools under my tires to give them traction. It was a whole thing. I was not a fan. So, in that sense, not a fan of the icy part of snow, but the pretty part of snow. I don't know. I feel like that's a common feeling though, because snow can be tedious, but it can be beautiful.
Very much so.
I don't know. Do you love or hate snow? Do you have a preference?
I don't like driving through snow.
Yeah.
Because I have a rinky-dink Scion XB.
It's not rinky-dink.
Yes, it is.
It has lasted you and has kept you going for the last how many years, so.
But still, you know, I don't have like a truck or an all-wheel drive car, so.
I do have snow mode on my car. I should use that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Whatever that means. I don't know what it
means.
It's a little dial. That's all it is. It's a dial, and I turn it from what is it? You called the checkered flag one race mode. I was like, that's not race mode. I think it is sport mode, but it's not race
sports mode. Yeah.
Yeah, he called it race mode. I was like, it's not race mode. There's mountains, there's snow, and then there's green. Leaf.
Eco.
Yeah, Bulbasaur.
But yeah, I think I like it when, well, I mean, not me personally, but because I don't have a pet, but I like it when I see videos of dogs that it's the first time that they're gonna go into snow, or dogs that already know what the feeling of snow is, and then when they jump into untouched snow and they just vanish,
they plop in.
Yeah, those are greatest videos I've ever seen.
They are very cute. Or my favorite is when I think the ones where they're like the dog's like whining and barking and like scratching at the door to be let out, and they're like, please let me out. They run outside and they freeze, and then they look back very, very slowly, and then they run back inside because they didn't realize that it was snowing and they're not used to it or whatever. But I also love the ones where like the dog just like will go out, sits on like the porch or on like the outside chair, just gets buried in the snow because they just love the feeling of it. And then, the owner will be like, you need to come back in. And the dog's like, no, absolutely not. It's very, very cute. Especially like, normally those are like your huskies and like the dogs that prefer colder weather. I'm sure it feels fantastic on their fur because that's what it's for. But yes, they are dogs in snow are very, very cute. We were watching one earlier. But yeah, that's I guess that's our update. This is a very roundabout conversation. But we are busy. We're
very busy.
Yeah. Not me just on the cusp of panicking all the time. We are very busy in a good way, though. I feel like it's all exciting things. We're not busy in like a bad things are happening. We're busy in a busy way.
Okay.
I was like, the word is not there. We're busy. We are literally in the throes of the last bits of wedding things, and I'm moving and it's snowing. And work is work. We're both still working our full-time jobs. Like, that doesn't stop. All right, Chiggy, let us know, what is it that we're going to be talking about today?
So I've been holding off on this episode for a while, but it's something that was part of my childhood. It's very nostalgic. Sure. Ever since I was in Italy, we would drive onto the base, and since my dad worked on the base and it took him like, at least an hour to get there, we would have to make a day out of, being on base.
Right.
And so we would get grocery shopping done. My dad would do some stuff in the office. We would, hang around the Navy Exchange, or me and my brother would get haircuts at the barber shop. But there was always a room that dedicated for the arcade. And so even when my parents were doing whatever, they'd be like, oh, just go to the arcade, play some games, kill some time. And so I spent many, many hours there alone, because they were doing their stuff. My sister was doing her own thing. My brother, sometimes he came with me, but
I'm surprised you wouldn't hang out with Kuya, but okay.
No, I mean, he would sometimes be with them too, shopping around, but
I see.
I was never like shopping around. It's like, go ahead, do whatever.
I'm gonna go play.
Yeah. So, they had that full trust in me to like go by myself, walk down to whatever building that arcade room was in, and then I'd spend hours there, and then they'd either come pick me up, or I would just walk back and just wait for them at a designated spot.
Right. This is pre-cell phone, y'all. Yeah.
So this was like, I don't know, 93, 95. Yeah.
You aged yourself a lot.
I know. But
sorry. Okay, yes.
Yeah. But I'd spend hours at the arcade, and there were like certain games where just seeing the arcade machine.
Yeah.
I think they call them cabinets, but
where
you stand and you play a game, you see the screen, your joystick's right in front of you and all that. They're called cabinets, but I always call them arcade machines.
Right.
But one of the first games I ever played was Street Fighter 2. And this cabinet was ridiculous. Like, it wasn't one that you stood up on. It actually had a designated place for you and your opponent to sit at.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a regular TV screen. It was like back in the day in the 90s.
Yeah.
It was like literally a 60 or a 70 inch. And it wasn't like an actual TV that you could buy and like keep it at your house, but it was manufactured specifically for like tournaments and stuff like that. And so I would like play that game a lot when I.
Do you remember which version it was?
I think it was the original one, Street Fighter 2. Just there was no like championship edition or turbo edition yet. It was the very first iteration of Street Fighter 2.
Gotcha.
And so I'd always use like Ryu or Ken.
Yeah.
Because they were the classic characters.
They were the cool one, yeah.
And I got really good at it. Just learning, their 3 special moves, and then just using always the fierce attacks to attack your opponent. And I remember like every time I would be playing and someone would challenge me, they would end up losing, and they were like, "Wow, okay, you're good." Like, but I would never be able to like beat the actual game. Like against the computer.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
because like the difficulty setting was like raised like maybe 6, 7, or 8 stars.
Sure.
And so like if you ever played fighting games, like you have to find like a certain win condition to actually beat the computer. So instead of like fighting how you would normally fight against a regular player, you have to trick like the computer to have them do something, and then they would fall into a trap.
Oh, I see.
And so you'd be able to you'd be able to hit them after a certain move or something.
You knew how to counter. You would know how to counter. Right,
correct.
Right,
okay. Since I didn't know that back then when I was a kid, I was never able to beat the game.
Wow.
So
that's crazy that's the reason.
Yeah, and it wasn't until like I actually rented the game on like Sega Genesis or something, where I actually did beat the game on 8 stars or the full difficulty level. But yeah, there's a bunch of different games that I want to get into, but do you have any like memories or favorite games that you would play at an arcade?
Oh, absolutely. So actually, before we get into me, just because I wanted the clarification, was your Street Fighter, and I don't know because I didn't play 2, or at least not the arcade version of 2. Was it 3 or was it 6 buttons?
There were 6 buttons.
6, okay. Because I remember that wasn't necessarily like my first game. I really liked playing Capcom versus Marvel because I just remember like it was really cool that you could switch characters. I'm gonna be real, y'all. Never knew how to. I just remember that you would do things, and if you smashed enough buttons, then your characters would switch. And I got to choose 3 of I got to choose 3 fun characters. But yeah, literally, at least at my arcade, similar setup, completely different countries. We both did live overseas, and I think I've talked about this in previous episodes too, where we were talking about like childhood stuff. I would go to the arcade in between, so like I would get off school at 2:30 or 3:30. And then I don't have, I would have normally like half an hour to 45 minutes of like extra study hall so that I could like do stuff, and I would just hang out in the library. And then after that, I would have an hour to 2 hours, depending on like if I wanted to help or not, till my martial arts class. And between that 1 or 2 hours, I would go to the arcade, and I would, like spend my allowance there or whatever. And in my arcade, it was Street Fighter was on one side, and then Capcom and Marvel. They were like the back-to-back machines. And yeah, and I never liked the cabinets that you have to stand at, because I'm like, if you're gonna play for a long time, like I liked being able to sit and like hunch over. But the thing, at least for me, was I didn't like playing against a computer, so I wanted to play against actual people. But then I didn't have a lot of people who were as like nerdy, I guess, or like, I don't know. People would go to the arcade, but it wasn't, people that I was the same age as you. I was like 7, 8, 9. And so the high schoolers that were there did not want to hang out with a 7, 8, 9-year-old. Like, it was just like, okay, which I totally understand. I totally understand that. But it was like, okay. And then because I couldn't play with anyone on Marvel vs. Capcom, then I would play occasionally a Space Invader because I really, really like the game. I'm always garbage at it, but I really like the game. It's so simple, but it's so fun. And then if not that, DDR. Mm-hmm. And DDR was my, like, that was my, like, go-to because I could play that game by myself and I didn't, like, feel weird about playing by myself. And for the longest time, no one played that game. Like, or at least when I was there. Like, there would be other people in the arcade, but, like, no one would play DDR because it was, like, not that it was newer. I'm sure it had been out for a while, but I guess it just wasn't. Everyone wanted to play, like, the cabinet games, the regular cabinet games. So, like, I would always go to the DDR machine because no one was there. And it's like, all right, I could just play straight and no one's going to bother me. Mm-hmm. I eventually did make a couple friends who were older than me, but they were similar to you. They were like, you're really good at this game. And I was like, I'm only good because I won't stop playing it. Right. It's like, I'm not inherently good at the game. I just wouldn't stop playing it. So then I got good at the game. And, yeah, so I would play DDR literally, like, as a... It sounds creepy, but it really wasn't. We're on a military base. Like, we're all just military kids. Mm-hmm. But I was, like, 8 or 9, and I was definitely hanging out with, like, high schoolers because I guess they had nothing better to do. And then I just had, like, that window. And then it's crazy to me, too, that I would do this because, so on our base, it's not that it's far, but, like, the middle school was in the far, far, far left corner of the base. And you could take the bus to go to the commissary NEX, but it goes around. So it would take a long time to make it to the NEX or commissary area, which is where the arcade was. Mm-hmm. So I would just walk. And so from school, I'd walk from, I'd cut through, housing and all that stuff. Again, on sidewalks and stuff, but it wasn't like, it wasn't like it was like just down the street. Like I was cutting through, a bunch of stuff. Would make it to the commissary NEX, buy myself a Propel and a tuna pack, go to the arcade and like play straight cardio DDR for like an hour, hour and a half. Right after that, walk all the way to the gym to attend my martial arts class where I'm doing cardio for like 2 to 4 hours, depending on if I was helping the beginner intermediate class, and then I had my advanced class because I think it was like 4, 5, and 6. My class was at 6 p.m. And it was like that was fine. And then my parents would come and pick me up at like 7:30. Mm-hmm. On Tuesdays, we would go home. On Thursdays, I literally had to leave class 10 minutes early so I could run to the locker room, shower, and then I had to be out, like, waiting by the front door at, like, whatever time so that my parents could pick me up and we go to church. And it was, like, I cannot believe that I did that. Like, the amount of, like, cardio I would do in one day. And I'm just, like... But, again, I was, like, a child, so, like, I had limitless energy. And, like, kind of like you, my parents just trusted me. Well, I wouldn't even say that they trusted me. Obviously, we're on a military base, so it was safe. I don't know how else to describe it. It was safe enough that, like, parents could let their kids do whatever their kids wanted to do, for all intents and purposes. And because I had so many extracurriculars all the time, it wasn't that I was doing anything. Like, literally the only thing that I did kind of, quote-unquote, out of the norm was arcade games. Mm-hmm. Like, because otherwise I was just in classes, extracurriculars, whatever it was. And, it was very, like, I guess I just did it as, like, I don't want to say that was, like, how I decompressed. Because it didn't feel like an obligation. I would go to the arcade to play games. Like, as much as it was exhausting to play DDR, as much as it sucked having to wait for people to play Marvel vs. Capcom with me or whatever, it was like I would go there to de-stress and have fun. And I wasn't thinking like, oh, this is a thing for my future. This was a thing genuinely where I was like, I'm just brain rotting and this is great. Mm-hmm. Everything else was for my future. Like, oh, I have to do this, and oh, I have to get straight A's. Oh, I have to do this so I can get into this club and do this and do this. And like, I had plans for everything else, but this 1 hour every Tuesday and every Thursday at the arcade was just It was the best. Oh, and I forgot, on the way too, I'd get a Propel, and then I'd get a white chocolate mocha at Starbucks. Because it was literally like the Starbucks, and then like around the corner in like this shady door, like no one knew it was there. The only reason why I found it was because like I was walking past to go to, like, again, just walking through the base, and I was going from the middle school to the hospital where my dad worked. And, like, I had to take that sidewalk to, like, kind of cut through. And it's just, like, 2 trees and then a very tiny sign that just said arcade. Like, you wouldn't, if no one told you, you wouldn't have known. But, you know, and then my parents knew, because, like, where's your allowance? I spent it at the arcade. So they knew that I was going there, and that's what I was doing for the 1 hour in between study hall and martial arts. But it was like, all right, cool. I really loved DDR. That was fun. It was fun because it was that's still my favorite version of DDR. Like, I've had the at-home version. I've played the version where you're just using the keyboard or whatever. I've tried the, you know, at-home little, like, remote pad or whatever. And it's just not the same. You really need the giant plastic chunky machine for it to just be, like, the coolest experience. I don't know what it is. It's such a fun game. I wish I could play it more often, but, you know, it's maybe one day when we're rich we'll buy a machine, put it in our garage just for old time's sake. Make sure we install, like, double bars, because like, if you don't know, on the DDR machines, or like the old ones, I don't know if the new ones have them. They do, right? Yeah. It's like I don't know if it's a safety bar. It's a safety bar. It's a safety bar, but it's a bar that's behind you. But what a lot of people do for, like, I guess, super high difficulty levels is you lean on that bar. You literally, there's like a pose everyone does where you're leaning on the bar and you're like holding it with your 2 hands, kind of like this, and you're just supporting your weight like this so that your feet can move as quickly as possible, like, so that you're, like, not jumping on your feet, your weight's on the bar, and you're just using your feet really, like, quickly to move. Y'all can't see my feet from the shop, but you get what I'm saying. Yeah, I remember, what's the one that it has and here's the thing, I don't even know, like, the names of the songs anymore. I know Can Can and Butterfly, but, like, everyone knows this. There's, like, one where it was, like, the background screen was, like, blue and purple stripes, and if you did that on, like, Super Expert, that was, like, you could not stop moving your feet the whole song, and everyone just, like, holds the bar for that. And there was only, like, 3 people that would play that game regularly who could, myself included, who could defeat that level. Or, let me not say defeat, I could pass. I never got a good grade on it. I think I always got, like, a C, maybe a B if, like, it was being generous. But yeah, that was fun. And oh man, those days were crazy. I don't know why we were so obsessed. Like, we were such dorks. But yeah, that's my it's crazy to me how, despite us completely living separate lives, we had, albeit different experiences, in a sense of, like, you gravitated more towards fighting games, I gravitated more towards DDR, but, like, we both had that shared experience of, like, as military kids living overseas, we found comfort and solace in, like, the tiny back room that was just labeled arcade. And I'm sure there are many more like us. Like, I'm not saying that that's exclusive to us, but it is really astounding to me that, like, despite our distance in age and time and growing up and life and whatever, we had a very similar shared experience. So that's really cool, actually.
Yeah. So, like, in my experience, when I would go on base in Italy, like, we would be there at least, 4 or 5 hours.
Sure.
And there'd
be, had to take care of stuff.
Yeah. There'd be times where I'd go immediately to the arcade, and, like, my parents would give me $1.
What?
$1 to play games. And back then, each game was a quarter. Oh, okay. So I could play 4 times. And after that 4 times, that's it. And so I would have to, like, make the most out of those 4 plays.
Yeah. They had to count.
Yeah. And so, back then, the arcade games that you would play, it was skill based. So the better that you were playing at the game, the longer you could play.
The longer you last, yeah.
And so not like the games nowadays where everything is on a card reader. You get a certain time to play, maybe a minute at most or something, and then the difficulty gets just ramped up so quickly that you'd lose no matter what. But yeah, back then there were the actual game, and if you were good at the game, you kept playing until you died or you beat the game. And that's how I'd like spend my days. Now, when I would go through the entire 4 plays, I would have to get like crafty. And so I would look to see if there were just people who put in credits to play the game but never press start.
Oh, yeah. Which happens.
Yeah. And so I'll be like, oh, okay, I'll just play this game. I've never played it before, but I'm going to learn.
I might as well use the credit so it's not wasted.
Right. And then after I check all that, then I'd go to each arcade or each game and then check the coin dispenser to see if there were coins just sitting at the bottom.
Yeah.
And so I do all that. If there were any coins, I put in my pocket and then get around the entire room, and then after that I'd go back to the first machine again and then press the coin
the little button
so that you so that it would push the coin down to the bottom. Do that again, go all the way around, and then
routine. That's so cute.
And then whatever coins I had left, then I'd play like my favorite games or whatever. And then I do remember there was one time where one game had all the coins stuck in the slot. And so
people kept trying to jam it in.
They just kept putting coins in, and the entire slot was filled. And it was filled for weeks. Like not even the people that wanted to or that managed it and how to take out the coins, they never fixed it. And so one day I just went in and I was like, oh, it's still jammed or it's still full. And so I literally took a plastic knife from Wendy's, because that was the fast food restaurant on base. Took a plastic knife. I had a piece of gum I was chewing.
Gross.
And I put the gum at the end of the knife.
Okay, MacGyver.
And then stuck it inside the coin slot.
Yeah.
And I just took each coin out one by one.
No, you did not. That's amazing. Oh my god.
And then finally, once it got down to the point where the knife couldn't get anymore, then you start pushing in the return.
Yeah.
And then at some point, all the coin just fell through.
It fell through, yeah.
And so either
whatever got stuck dislodged.
Yeah. Either it would go inside the machine and count it as a credit, or it would get dispensed back out.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, cool. I got everything out. It works again. And now, I had a bunch of credits on this one game and, a bunch of coins in my pocket.
There you go.
And so I was like, okay, I'll save this for next time.
Isn't it crazy how I would assume you're 9 or 10 at that point?
I was 8.
8, yeah. But management, fully grown adults, they're just like, it's fine. It'll figure itself out. It'll sort itself out. Doesn't really matter. It's an arcade. And here's just a bored 8-year-old just MacGyvering his way to get some free coins and free credits. And it's just that's awesome. I love that so much.
Yeah.
One of the points of difference that I noticed in your story was you said your games were 25 cents. My games were definitely 50 cents.
Oh yeah.
And I know that because I remember I had to use 2 quarters, very specifically. And then another thing that was kind of one of my favorite things that I don't know if it was ever taught to me. I don't know. But I loved the hidden language of arcades. So you put your coin on the screen. You're like, I got next. Or, so and so. There's just so many little small intricate things. And it wasn't ever a like I said, I don't really know if anyone told me these things or if it was just kind of like you just hang out around enough times with enough the same people that you kind of just understand, like, oh, so and so uses that chair because that's his lucky chair. Oh, like, which doesn't make any sense, but it was also just like you just kind of like understood, and you're like, yeah, it's fine. There was, and I don't know, I really do miss that. That was like such an innocent time in my life, obviously as a child, but just like, again, there were, just like how it happened between the two of us, there were other military kids there too, and it was like it was a very specific situation to be in, and all of us were all just there essentially waiting for your parents, waiting for your mom or dad to get done with duty or whatever, who would then meet up with you or then pick you up, and then you guys go home. Like, literally all of us were doing that. And that's really funny to me that, as adults now, it's just kind of like that was like a nice memory. And we all had the same like sentiment in a way. So yeah, I really do I miss like old school arcades, because I don't know, we go to the Dave and Buster's of today's, or the Apexes, or I don't know, what's another version of that, just the adult Chuck E. Cheese's of the world. And it's fun. It will be fun. It's always fun. But I don't know, it doesn't hit the same as it did before. And I don't know why. It's not that, well, I don't know. I feel like a lot of the games are like really hyper simplified. We recently went to an arcade because we went to Apex, and they have a section of their Apex is like a general entertainment area. They have everything, but they have like a mini arcade. And I noticed that a lot of the games, not all, like, there are games that you can play, like Space Invaders and like, whatever, but a lot of the games are push this button multiple times or at a specific time or whatever. So there's like Drop the Ball, there's Cross Heroes, there's Flappy Bird. There's literally, the game is like this huge giant screen and you have one button. And I kind of wanted to point that out because, like we were talking about earlier, you had the joystick and your 6 buttons for Street Fighter, and it's the same for Marvel vs. Capcom. And it's like, there's such a, I don't know, an oversimplification of essentially taking mobile games and then just putting them on an arcade version, or putting them in a cabinet, so to speak. And it's kind of like, I miss I miss games being difficult. I miss that, like you said, oh, you have to make your credit count, because if you die, that's it. But that's the thing. The games were challenging. The games were harder. And let me not even say harder. Games are still hard. No, but it's also like, I feel like, especially at like places like Dave and Buster's or Apex or Chuck E. Cheese, it's all for tickets. So then obviously they don't want you winning so many tickets. Like, that's kind of the point. But it's also just like, it's not hard in a you're challenged way. It's hard in a you're not meant to win way. I don't know. Does that make sense? Is my Englishing? And so I just noticed that it was kind of like, I was having fun playing, but I was also, it felt very like limited in what I was enjoying with, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That being said, I played ring toss twice that night. And the ring toss is like, it's cute. It's like they have these like bottles that like light up, and then the floor raises and lowers. It's like, it looks like a circus game, but it's just an arcade version of said game. And the first time I played, actually, some of your coworkers were like close-ish to me, so I was very self-conscious, and I was like, I don't like this, and I was just kind of like throwing, and then I was like, okay, goodbye, and like I ran away. Because I wasn't with you, so I felt really, really weird. And then the second time I played with some of our friends, and I don't know what happened, but I like locked in. I think I got like 57 tickets because like I just kept like going, and like the friends that we were with, because we just like you said, it's a card. You swipe your card. It's a card reader, and then the two of them were playing on one, and they got like 2 bottles between the two of them.
And then I was just playing on my own, and I got 57 tickets, whatever that was. But like halfway through, the girls like looked over at me. They're like, "How are you doing that?" And I literally was like, "I don't know." And I was just throwing. I was like, "I don't know what's happening, but it's working somehow." And then and it was really, really funny. But it was like, and I guess because that game felt more tactile, I really enjoyed that game. It's like I like when the game just feels like a game. Not when it feels like let's hit the jackpot for the tickets. Like, I want it to feel like a game, and I want to enjoy it. Not like you said, not a 1 minute thing of just like, what is the word? Like, for your attention span. Just enough to hold on to you for a minute and then move on with your lives. It's like, that's sad. Like, I remember spending hours in an arcade. We spent less than an hour between our two cards. Like a little swipey card thingies. Yeah. And I was done after 20 minutes. Like, which is sad because I love arcade. Like, I love playing games, but I don't know. The arcade game vibes are just different.
Yeah. I mean, with times now, it's always about the mentality of making profit.
Yeah.
So, what is the best way that the owners of these arcades or these entertainment places, what's the way I can maximize my profit by getting a customer to play the game and then quickly get rid of the customer so I can get a new customer to make more money. So I guess the best ways are to implement games where you win tickets. So you get a play, you win a certain amount of tickets, and then you can redeem those tickets for small prizes. Of course, they have larger prizes that take forever for you to get that ticket count for you to redeem that. So you'll end up spending 3, 4, 10, 20 times the amount of that prize to actually win it.
Yeah.
And then, the actual arcade games where you don't win tickets, those games are usually like something that you would shoot at. You have like a Halo or a Jurassic Park or Tomb Raider.
Those.
Yeah.
The one where you feel like you're getting in a tiny car and you're just driving, shooting or whatever. I'm like, I miss, what's the one that we played? The blue and the red.
Time Crisis.
Time Crisis is such a good game. And I can't find it anymore.
Yeah.
I love Time Crisis. That's such a good game. I remember the first time we played and you would laugh at me because I would physically duck.
Yes.
But then, okay, yeah, I'm not the only one who did that. I know a lot of people would do that because when you push the thingy, you see your character ducks, you duck. Also, this man laughed at me this is like year 1, year 2, whatever. We were early in our dating career. This is also the same man who plays Halo at home, and while he's playing Halo, will be ducking and weaving as if he's playing, not Halo, what am I talking about? COD.
No, you're right. I did play Halo.
Okay, so why are you going to make fun of me in Time Crisis when I press duck with my foot and I duck too? Because I don't want to get shot.
Okay.
Why are you such a hater when I called you out the same way?
Because I'm at home.
I love Time Crisis. That's such a good game. Oh, that was such a fun game, and I'm so sad that I can't find it anymore. That's what I mean. Like, with Time Crisis, I mean, granted, like, if you die, yeah, whatever. But, like, you could play that game, and if you're good at it, you can, like, get through a good portion. And it's, like, it's such a satisfying game to play. It's not hard, but it's not easy. And I definitely dropped a star back there. Sorry. It's not a hard or an easy game, but it's, like, it's challenging enough that you want to keep playing it. Good times.
Yeah. But, like, yeah, the actual arcade games in arcades now, they're always, like, some type of shooting game.
Yeah.
And so after a certain amount of plays, the cursor or the aiming of...
is off.
Yes. So the calibration's off.
Oh!
The way I was livid on that, what game were we playing?
The quick shot.
Quick shot? Ooh! Owners, gamer, whatever they are, company people, CEOs, whoever does... I was so mad. I was so mad because I'm not a bad shooter in a sense of like if and whenever I'm playing a shooting game, I prefer playing sniper because that's just how I am as a gamer. And I've played many a shooting game. Am I good at shooting moving? No. But am I good at there's a bottle on a shelf and I'm going to shoot it? Yes. I'm very good at that. Mm-hmm. Tell me how in this quick shot game by because it's like 3 levels or something. Level 1 is fine. Level 2 is fine. Level 3, I know that I am not moving. I am not moving. Why is my bullet here, here, and here on the same shot? I was livid. I knew the calibration was off on that. Mm-hmm. I was like, ooh, and the way that I was like, I know that I'm being wronged in this because I'm like, I know that this is like one thing that I am really good at. We've even done it in real life and I'm really good at it. So I'm like, I know I have shot a real gun and I have shot bullseye with a real gun. Do not tell me that I'm not hitting this this digital bottle that I know is straight on point. And it just, ooh, I was so mad. I was so mad. Oh,
you're mad now. What the heck?
That got me fired. I was so mad because I wanted to pull. Remember that guy from the Olympics, the dad who just wore the glasses, and I wanted to do that while we were there. No, quick shot did not let me because the calibration. You could tell. Level 1, it's on point. Level 2, a little off. Level 3, way off. Like way off, and I'm like, these people are trying to infuriate me.
Yeah, so that's how they get you.
I know.
So they'll kick you out of the game because you're missing your shots.
Yeah.
And so, time for you to move on, get someone else in the seat, make more money.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know why, a lot of companies are going down that road and, they just want to maximize profits. I mean, it's a business. I get it. But
it is.
you can still make money off playing like fighting games too. It's just, they don't make money off the one person that wins every single time.
Yeah.
So they'll make some money, but they're not maximizing profits.
Yeah. But it also it takes the soul out of the arcade. I get it. Like, and I don't want to like be very clear. Like, we played Quick Shock. We had a fun time. Like, I'm gonna be real. We're playing games. We're having fun. But it's like, it felt like I was like, I just felt like everywhere I turned, every game that I wanted that I could play, I guess that wasn't just like a straight up ticket grab game or like a crane game. It was all just a mobile game or like a version of a 1 minute has your attention and then just moves on. Like we played the Nerf shooting game, and I was like, literally, while we were playing, I was like, oh my gosh, you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of the Toy Story game that we played, the shootout game in Disney, and it was like I was having such a fun time, and then all of a sudden it was just over, and I was like, what happened? I was like, did we die? And you were like, no, the time is up. And I was like, I literally blinked. I was like, we barely made it through like one level. And I was like, how did we, like, I was like, that's it?
Yep.
And it was just like, it was the most like unfulfilling feeling. And I know you played a lot of Flappy Bird. I was playing Crossy Roads. But again, it was just like, I'm just staring at a giant screen, pressing literally a button that just says tap. Or the stacking game. We also played that game. Again, just another screen, and you're just stacking stuff, and you're just pressing tap. So it's like, what are we really doing? And then the one game that I wanted to play that was an actual game, DDR, didn't work. It wasn't DDR. What was it called? Stage Mix or something like that? Mixer?
That Maniac or something.
Yeah, didn't work. Don't know why. I saw other people playing it, and I was like, I see the credits on the game. I don't know why it's not letting me play. But probably user error. But then it's just like, I don't know. It was I had fun. I did. But I'm also I'm missing, and I miss the days of good arcades. Like authentic arcades where games were meant to be played, to be enjoyed, and like to be savored, not just, and they were challenging to the point that it made you want to keep coming back, so that you could get better and that you would get better. And when you got better, it was satisfying. But What do I know? All that to say, I don't. Did you have anything else to add before? Like, I had like one little wrap up thingy, but did you have anything else you wanted to add?
Yeah. I have one more too.
Yeah.
I mean, I could keep on going about other things, but what I do want to see at like an arcade, are called beat 'em up games.
Yeah.
So like a Final Fight. What are they called? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They had a couple of games. But like, you know, you could have like 1 to 4 players, and you're basically just like walking around fighting enemies, and like you have a punch button, a jump button, and then if like you hit the two, if you hit the two together, you do like a special move.
Yeah.
And like those games, you know, it's very simplistic. But you know, timing and
those are your 3 buttons games, right?
Yeah, something like that. And like, you know, you just keep pressing the button to punch or kick or jump or whatever, and you know, the timing you need to do to you know, fight whatever enemies on screen. That's all you do. You just beat them up until their life bar is gone.
Yep.
And so there was one game I remember back in the day was X-Men.
Oh yeah.
And this arcade game had 8 players.
Okay.
And it was the most I've ever seen on, you know, one game. You could have 8 people simultaneously playing at the same time. We never ever beat the game because it was on max difficulty, and you know, you would get hit 3 times and you're like,
you're out.
That's your life. And then, you know, you get 3 lives, and you know, there were just too many enemies on screen, or the boss would just hit you too hard one time and you're dead.
You're out.
And so I just remember we did get close one time where there was one player on the 8 that glitched out, and every time you hit a button while you were playing, it would automatically give you another credit to play.
What?
And so this one player had infinite lives.
Yeah.
But you know, there were just too many characters or too many enemies on screen.
Wasn't enough. Yeah.
And you know, you just get overwhelmed. I mean, eventually you would be able to beat the game, but you know, you would have to waste a lot of credits, a lot of hours just trying to spawn back in, get a couple of hits in, die, spawn back in, over and over. But I do want to see those types of games again. Those are probably the only like cabinets you'll see in like vintage stores now.
Vintage. Yeah.
But
you're right.
I mean, we were at that one store not too long ago, and they had a cabinet. It just wasn't on. But it was a beat 'em up game.
It was there, yeah.
So yeah. That's the one thing I wanted to add.
My my little wrap up or like last thought was so we recently did go to Apex, which again is like a adult Chuck E. Cheese equivalent is the best way I could describe it. And while we were at the arcade, we had timed cards. So he had a 30-minute card, I had a 30-minute card. And Chiggy, being the man of many calculations and calculating efficiency, was like, I'm going to play this one game for 30 minutes and just max it out so that I can get as many tickets as possible. Which was fine. I told him, I was like, if that's what you want to do, I don't care. I was like, I don't know why we need that many tickets, but like, if that's what you want to do, cool. I was like, you know, so I let him, you know, sit and play, and he did his thing, and I kind of walked around and hung out with our friends, came back to you, but, you know, all that stuff. I think in, like, the last 10 minutes or so, you ended up hanging out with us anyways, because you played other games, too. We played the Nerf game, or we played whatever. And then I started my card, where I just played every variety and random game that I wanted to. Not that there were many, because it was just, again, all mobile games for 1 minute. But all of that to say, at the very end of the night, we all go to like the little redeem your tickets section or whatever, and there's a card reader that tells you how many tickets you have. So it was us and 2 other of our friends. So it was the 4 of us, and so our friends scanned their tickets first, and we're like, oh, I have 167. Oh, I have like 130 something. So they had just under 300 tickets. So they were like, oh, we could get the candy, or oh, we can get this little like cute whatever. So they started looking. I looked at mine. I think I had just under 300 or something like that. Yeah, not a lot. I wasn't trying to earn tickets. I literally was just playing whatever I could play. And then we scanned yours, and you had
1,728.
And so it did not surprise me. I knew his strategy. He played I was about to say Chicken Cross the Road. That's not it. He played Flappy Bird the whole time. So like he racked up his tickets. Again, a man of many efficiencies and calculations. So essentially between the two of us we had 2,000 tickets, which was great. I was like, okay, awesome. And so like I'm like looking around. I'm like, oh, there was this one thing. They had it was like a cherry blossom light, and I was like, that's really pretty. But we were short by like so many 100 or 200 tickets or whatever. I was like, oh gosh, we were so close. You know, and I'm like looking at these like bigger prizes, and the girls were like the girls that we were with, our friends. They're like, oh, do you want that bigger prize? Like, we'll give you our tickets so that you could, like, if it's enough. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm just looking. And in my head, I was like, why do they need to give me their tickets? I was like, we got it. But then I didn't say this out loud. And I didn't put it together. They didn't realize how many tickets we had. So then finally, did you tell them? Or, like, did they overhear or something like that? But then I distinctly remember the youngest one going, you have how many tickets? Like, she literally stopped in her tracks and was like, how many tickets do you have on your card? And you were just like, 1,007. Like, you just, like, ranted it off. And then just the look of just on her face was so funny to me. And I was like, what did y'all expect? It's him. I was like, that's Chiggy. We ended up using our tickets because we don't frequent that place.
We don't,
so it was just kind of like we just want to use it so we can burn. We earned it, we just burn them. So we ended up buying 2 card packs. But they were Yu-Gi-Oh. They didn't have Pokemon, so we got 2 Yu-Gi-Oh packs. One of the friends that we were with, one of them, she collects, so we're just like, yeah, let's just do a pack opening right now. And they're like, you have that many tickets? I'm like, yeah. So the only unfortunate thing about it was that we had to wait for someone. I think because no one ever management never has to open the case, but they had to open the case for the 4 nerds who really wanted 2 Yu-Gi-Oh packets. And so we did a cute little card opening, and that's how we ended the night, which was really, really fun. And it was very sweet. And it kind of came back to, like, when we were with those 2, it felt, playing games with them felt very like old school gaming, because it was just like, we're like playing we're not trying to win tickets. I mean, he did, but we're not trying, like, we genuinely were just like, we just want to play games and we want to have fun playing games. So yeah, that was just kind of my last little, you Mr. King of Efficiency all the time, maxing out your tickets, and in the span of less than 30 minutes earning 1,700 tickets, which we ended up buying Yu-Gi-Oh packs for, or just trading in for Yu-Gi-Oh packs, which is just so funny to me. That's so us coded on so many levels, but in the best of ways. I feel like it reflects the best of us in that way. Yeah, you have any final thoughts?
Oh, if we ever go back to Apex, fix your game. So I was playing Flappy Bird for 30 minutes straight, and at least 5 or 6 times, you tap the button so that your bird flaps up and down, and then randomly the screen glitches, so it just stops, and it's still playing, but you're not visually seeing it play. And so I can't tell if I'm going through the pipe or not. And then as soon as it refreshes, boom, you're dead.
Yeah. If you don't know, Flappy Bird is a very intense game of timing and timing your button presses. And yeah, I played it 2 or 3 times. And 2 out of the 3 times glitched. So I think it's coded in. I don't think it's a natural glitch, like, oh, the game is whatever. I think it's coded in so that you don't hit jackpot. And it's very annoying. Like, it's the most irritating feeling because you're just like, what just happened? Like, you only lose for something that's completely not your fault.
Yeah. And I did get the high score of that day.
80?
No. I think the high score back when we were there, it was 77. I got 79.
Yeah.
And then I guess the bonus was to get 80 to get 500 tickets.
Yeah.
And I got 79.
Wild.
It just, the difficulty ramps up so quickly once you approach that 80.
Yeah, it does.
And then for whatever reason, the all-time high score is 300 something.
Oh, yeah.
So whatever.
It really is how they code the games, because you've played Flappy Bird at other arcades, and I've seen you play Flappy Bird. You go into the hundreds easily, but depending on the game setup and whatever. So, yeah, at the particular location, I think they very intentionally code the game so you lose. Like, it is the games against you 100%.
Oh, yeah.
But that's how they make their money, so. Ayo. Anyways, we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Let us know in the comments down below. Did you play arcade games growing up? Do you miss old school arcade games? Or do you like the new format of arcade games with card swiping and tickets and all that stuff? Now, granted, it is kind of cool to get prizes now. I'll give you that. We didn't have prizes back in our day when we paid 50 cents, 25 cents for a game. But I feel like we enjoyed the games a lot more back then. So, yeah. Thank you so much for watching. We will see y'all next time. Bye.
Bye.